Hello everybody, this is Michael with LangShack here. Just wanted to tell you guys about this Aruba place I've been to, and this is some of my experiences with the local language here. So as many of you know, I had been picking up the local language called Papiamento. It's spoken by virtually everybody here in the same way that most Creoles are spoken by people in the Caribbean. It's kind of interesting. Most Arubans speak 4 languages by nature. So if you're speaking English, Spanish, Dutch, or Papiamento, they'll respond to you in any 4 of those languages. So you could be from anywhere from Argentina to Mexico to Puerto Rico, Canada, or anywhere over there, or Holland, and they'll speak to you in your respective languages. And it's really fascinating how these Arubans can switch so easily and seamlessly between 4 different languages. Some of them even speak French or German, which they may learn as a 5th or 6th language even. And some speak even more, but it is truly fascinating how many languages that they speak. So my experience as a tourist here has been pretty positive. However, trying to speak Papiamento to a lot of people has been mixed. It is a little bit. It's very strange for the Aruban to hear a tourist speaking the local language, but there are ways that you can break through this barrier. So if you're traveling around and you just speak Papiamento to people and they know you're a tourist, they will usually assume that you're just speaking Spanish. However, if you really want to speak Papiamento and they know that you're like speaking, Spanish, then they would respond to you in Spanish. But if you're speaking Papiamento and they respond to you in Spanish, then the way to clarify this is just to simply say "Volta Papiamento," and by that point, they're going to know that you're trying to speak Papiamento, not Spanish. So this has worked for most people. I would say, people are more inclined to speak to you in English. But if you say this line, most of the time people will switch over to Papiamento and speak to you in Papiamento. However, you have to be ready for it because they kind of speak the language pretty fast. So you just have to be relaxed when you're speaking it so that you can pick up what they're saying. And also, if you're using books that have the long version, so if you have like mi, a, sina, for example, they're going to use this, mi, ma, sina, which is the condensed form. So they use all the contractions and they use the fast ways to speak Papiamento. So you just have to be prepared for that. However, everyone on the island speaks Papiamento, so you can, practically, even immigrants and people who live on Aruba or Curacao or Bonaire, they all speak it. They all learn that school. So even if they're not a speaker of the language, they're gonna understand it. Even the Spanish immigrants understand Papiamento, but they may not necessarily respond to you in it. They may respond to you in Spanish. So, if you're trying to get away and you want to speak that language, people are going to be freaked out because they're not used to it. But they're definitely going to be happy at your attempts to try to learn the language. So I've got a couple more days here before I'm out, but I've got a video compilation of all of my interactions, or rather most of my interactions with people speaking of Papiamento. Most of them will be really shocked, and some of them won't even believe it at first, speaking Papiamento to them. But if but they will be very happy to help you with the language, and they'll be very happy to speak it to you. So I just wanted to make this to show you guys, to tell you guys a little bit about the island and the language situation and how you can use Papiamento on this island as well.